this is Kelly with Zen of Sleep, and today we are going to work on the lungs. The lungs are our area where we kind of store grief and sadness, and it can even show on our face, under our eyes if we have a lot of wrinkles or puffiness under our eyes. But also it has to do with the kidneys as well. The lungs move moisture throughout the body, and if it gets backed up in the kidneys, it will go back up into the lungs and cause issues, with asthma, bronchitis, things like that. And also it doesn't allow the body to get rid of waste as well. So same thing, if that is backing up and you're not breathing well, to eliminate through your mouth, the body is going to eliminate a different way, which is usually like through skin, dry skin, rashes, even sweating. Too much sweating, not enough sweating. So there's issues that can be connected to your lungs if they are not working correctly. So we are going to use our 78.3 Schumann fork to help clear out the acupressure points on the lungs. And then we have our clear quartz gem foot on the bottom, which really helps to clear and activate these points, as well as send the vibration deeper into the body and amplify it. We use a lower resonance fork as the body is less resistant to the vibration compared to some higher hertz forks. And I myself have found many health benefits by using this fork on my body. And the points that we're showing you today, you can do it as a routine by itself, or you can even input it into our full body routine, which is in our store, zenofsleep.com, and you can look for it there. We will also have a link below as well to our forks if you are interested in them. So let's get started today, and we're going to get started, of course, with the kidney points. So we're going to start on the right side. So it's up from the corner of the mouth and up almost to the hairline, down just a little bit. And the right side can actually raise your blood pressure a little bit or create heat. So if you have some issues in that area, maybe just not spend so much time on the right side. On the left side, it does help calm the mind and reduce anxiety. So you can spend more time there if that's something that you are wanting in the body, as well as working and toning the kidneys, as we are working these points. And so as you can see, I've just hit the fork with my hand. We have a rubber activator as well if you would prefer not to use your hand to activate the fork. And we just lay it on the point until the vibration runs out. And now we are going to move to point 342, which is a large intestine point. And here, let me show it to you. So center of the forehead, about a quarter of the way down, that is where we're going to put it. And again, the large intestines also deal with moisture regulation in the body, but also the large intestines are, of course, right up against the diaphragm. So we want them to be moving as well and not being hard or constipated or something, that can stop the movement of the diaphragm functioning properly. So we're going to work that large intestine point. And once that's done, we're going to move to point 34, which is at the tip of the eyebrow. Now I start on my right eyebrow. And this point deals with the neck and shoulders. And a lot of times, if you're not breathing deeply, you get shallow, you get tight, or stress sometimes can tighten and roll those shoulders in. So we're just working here to help relax the neck, relax the shoulders, help the lungs to open up so you can breathe deeper and breathe better. A lot of times I'm doing these points, I like to breathe in deep, just help the body relax. This point also helps to move lymphatics, so just helps that clear and cleanse as well. And the next point is going to be on the bridge of the nose, kind of where your glasses would rest if you wear them. And this is the diaphragm point. So we're working directly with the diaphragm here to help the diaphragm relax and just allow the body to breathe deeper. Plus the vagus nerve also goes through the diaphragm. So if your diaphragm is constricted, then you're constricting the vagus nerve, and then that's connected to digestion and breathing and just so many things in the body. So we don't want that diaphragm to be tight. So now what we're gonna kind of do is just kind of do some circles around the cheekbone. And you can go back and forth if you'd like. This also helps just your skin tone as well. You know, being that the lungs support the skin, but doing this movement on the skin helps bring circulation and collagen to the skin, and it will help lighten and brighten your skin. But we're also working over the lung point, which is right directly under the eye. And if you have any sagginess, bagginess, wrinkles under there, you know, that deal with that sadness and grief that you may have experienced in life, doing this helps you release those emotions. And then you can even just spend like the last little bit just right underneath your eye on the lung point, number 3. And then you can even go all the way up and over the eyebrows and just kind of move along the eyebrows. You just move slowly across. So the lungs on the face are just located basically in this area. So when we're moving the fork around this area, we're just sending power and healing into that lung area on our face, on the reflexology. And then we can work the other side. And if you're working under the eyes, sometimes I use my finger just to support the skin just a little bit. You don't have to push really hard at all, especially when you're right under the eyes, because that skin is pretty delicate. But moving across the skin like this does help it look brighter and more vibrant. We're just clearing out any of that issues with the lungs. I'll spend a little time on point 3, just right under, directly under the eye, kind of on the top of the cheekbone. And then just as the vibration runs out, you know, I just hit it when we need to, and then just keep moving. And I'm just going to move it along the top of the eyebrows here for the top of the lungs. And then of course the trachea, you know, would be here. If you have issues with your esophagus, you can do right between, kind of in that divot, right between the eyes. Let me change my hand so you can see a little better. That little divot. So it's a little higher than that diaphragm point. That's where the trachea is. And you can put the fork there to send information and healing directly to the trachea there. So those are the last points on the face. So when we usually end the face, I like to hit point 0, which is right in front of the ear. And you can go around the ear if you'd like, or just up and down. And what this does is it just sets the formula in and just helps tell the body, you know, what we've done. It helps the formula to work better. So you can either move it or you can just leave it, you know, just directly in front of the ears. Of course, if you have hearing aids, you probably need to take them out while you do this routine, as using the tuning fork right next to them might kind of freak them out a little bit. And then if you have any issues with osteoporosis, any metal parts in the body, you know, just The tuning fork is contraindicated for osteoporosis, and if you have metal parts, just use them away from the metal parts, not right over those metal parts. Or a pacemaker sometimes can be interfered with a tuning fork, so those would be some issues that you would not want to use the tuning fork if you have those things. So from here, we're gonna move to the rest of the body. Okay, so I scooted it back a little bit so you can see my body a little bit better. So first, we're gonna work lung 1 and lung 2, which are these points right here in front of the deltoid. One's kind of right above the others. So if you feel that deltoid muscle, you know, into the shoulder, those are the points. So I would start just kind of on that upper point, and you just kind of hold it in there. And of course, these are just on the lung meridian, so we are directly affecting the lungs, strengthening the lungs, regulating the lungs. We'll go down to lung 2, which is just down almost even with the shoulder crease where your shoulder is, or you know, the armpit crease. And just kind of push it into that deltoid, you know, kind of down and back in there. And if you want, you can always kind of move it around a little bit while it's vibrating to just kind of manipulate a little bit more into that point. So kind of on the top of the deltoid here. And like I said, you can hold it still or just kind of rotate it just a little bit to kind of move it and groove it into that point. And now we'll get the lower point, like almost even, a little bit above still the armpit crease, but still we're just kind of right in that divot between the deltoid and the pectoral or the chest. You know, there's kind of a divot there, and that's where these 2 points are. Okay, so now we're going to go to lung 5, which is kind of down the arm, so that the lung meridian just runs along here. We're going to get into the crease now, and where like the large intestine is out here, this is kind of inside a little bit more, not in the center, but just kind of off to the side, just a little bit. So we'll get into that lung 5 point. This is good for bronchitis, cold and flu. It clears heat out of the lungs. It helps with inflammatory lung conditions and shortness of breath, this point. And now I'll go to the other side. And if you have lung issues, a lot of these points might feel achy and sore, and it's just letting you know that you have an issue in that area. And so it's a good place to hold the tuning fork. Now we're going to move down to lung 6, so we're still moving along that line, and we're going to stop right here in the forearm. So we're on the thumb side, so right there. This is lung 6, and it also clears inflammation in the lungs, and it's good also if you have asthma or a cough. This will help those points. We'll get the other side. And then after this, we'll move just a little bit further down the arm to lung 7. So it's about 2 fingers up from the wrist crease, kind of in that, there's the bone there, and then it's just kind of in the divot right above that bone. So this also helps with mucus and phlegm, and it does regulate and strengthen the lungs, as well as working also with a cough and asthma. So we'll just work the other side. And I just kind of rest my arm on here as I hold it. And like I said, if you'd like, you can kind of move it or just hold it on that point, whichever feels best to you. So you can see we're kind of working pretty much the whole lung meridian to try and cleanse and open that up. Now we're going to get right in that wrist crease on that same line. Just kind of relax your arm. This is lung 9. It strengthens the lungs as well, gets rid of mucus in the lungs, and it also helps with the coughs and asthma, or if you're having a difficulty breathing. They all pretty much do the same thing. Maybe a few variations here and there, but again, we're just supporting the whole meridian. All of these points just help to support the lungs. And on this next point, it's on my leg, so I'll just lift my leg up so you can see it. So we go from the tip of the kneecap, kind of where that is, 4 fingers down, and we're on the outside of the shin bone. So 4 fingers down from this kind of bony area here, and about 1 finger width out, and this is stomach 36. My hand is busy, so I'm just going to hit on the chair, and we'll just kind of hold it here. But this also strengthens and regulates the lungs, helps with asthma, breathing issues, colds, allergies, and helps to build up the immune system as well, as we're working with the stomach here. And then same thing, find that kind of bone right there, 4 fingers down, about 1 finger out from the shin bone, and we'll place it there. And then the last point we're going to do is just a kidney point, since we are kind of working the kidneys, but this also just helps to ground the body. It's just a really good place to finish, especially if you're working the kidneys, which we do for a lot of the different health issues that we have. So I'll just bring my foot up, and it's basically where the ball of your foot is and your arch come to meet, and there's a little center point there, and it's kind of a divot there. You know, there's kind of a indentation there between the ball of your foot and the arch, and it's just right in the center. And this is the kidney 1 point. And please let us know your comments about how this helps you or hasn't helped you. We like to hear it all. And if you feel like this might help a friend or family member, we always appreciate you sharing our information with them. And then if you want to like and subscribe, then you'll be aware of when we do a new video. And you can even leave any suggestions in the comments of anything you would like us to cover on the videos. And again, we will leave a link to our store, zenofsleep.com, at the bottom if you are interested in purchasing our very high quality tuning forks. And they're American made, and you know, we only wanted to do a high quality one so you could get the correct vibrational pattern, and they are just a good quality fork to give you the best healing possible. Once again, we just thank you for watching our video about how to help your lungs, and if you have any comments, be sure to leave them below. Again, take care and have a great rest of your day.